I took a break from recording, and I think I'm going to do this often. I've followed some YouTubers that have gone hard for many years, and it seems like there's a burnout period. But what I've discovered is there's YouTubers that they're consistent, they take breaks, sometimes often, sometimes not, and they seem to be more consistent over time. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to do that. I'm going to just randomly take some breaks. I'm not going to do the whole big announcement. I'm taking a break. I'm just going to take a break and not post videos. Nothing happened. Um, Nothing crazy going on. No other reason other than, you know what, I'm not going to put out content for a couple days. I'm going to take a break. I'm not even going to call it, some people call it a social media fast. I'm not doing all of that. That's to me, that's kind of crazy. But I will tell you this. This is what I have discovered reading through comments, seeing what people say. And I've brought this up before. There is this growing theme of people that feel the necessity to make sure that you know you are nothing if you like what they don't like. This is odd to me. Now, I have no problem with that. It doesn't bother me when people make their comments. I'm good with that. Here's what's funny to me, funny, interesting, not funny, ha ha, laughing. The funny thing is, you would think that if someone enjoys something you don't enjoy and they put out content and it's consistently based on things you don't enjoy, you would just tune out. Here's what I notice. I notice I can post a bunch of videos about Marvel, DC, different books, but there is certain hot button issues, and it doesn't matter what where you're at as far as your view on these topics. Like, they are hot button issues. If you really enjoy DC or Marvel, man, there's people that they can't believe you enjoy anything from these companies. If you don't enjoy DC or Marvel at all, oh my goodness, how dare you not enjoy DC or Marvel? If you enjoy an independent company like the Rippaverse, how dare you not see that what they put out is trash? Now, the views I don't necessarily mind, like the viewpoints. I don't mind that at all. The thing that's baffling to me is I get the impression, and I wonder if this is why at some point when people get so big into their content creation, like hundreds of thousands of views and, thousands of comments, they just stop paying attention. Because what I have discovered is, man, when you make something people don't like, it goes beyond, hey, I disagree with you, and here's the points why I disagree. It's, you're trash and you're an idiot and I can't believe you like this, which, look, again, it doesn't bother me. I'm good on that. But yo, it is crazy that what I like would invoke such a visceral response from people. I'm nobody. I have, to this point, I think I have, I'm not even going to check, like 900 something subscribers. I'm nobody on YouTube. I talk about the things I enjoy. The thing, and I've brought this up before, and I'd like to make this point again. The internet provides all of us with the opportunity to discuss the things that we like, the things that we enjoy. This is incredible. This is great. I have a broader reach, or a broader audience to engage with, which is great. But sometimes it can be not so great because you can't have a real discussion. When I talk to my actual friends, like people that I talk to on a regular basis, we talk about a myriad of issues, from biblical issues to comic books to current affairs. And we disagree sometimes. Sometimes we might see eye to eye. Sometimes we disagree, and we'll have a back and forth discussion. And sometimes I'll concede, you know what, bro, your point is right. And sometimes they will concede, like, you know what, oh, you made a point here. That only happens when you can have an actual conversation. I love the internet. Obviously, the internet allows me to do this, but I don't know if real conversations are happening on the internet. Well, I'm convinced real conversations are not happening on the internet. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't real conversations going on here at all. Obviously there is, but I think the visceral nature of responses and the visceral nature of how people perceive things to be said really it detracts from an actual discussion. If you make a video, or anybody, let's say anybody makes a video, and there's a point in that video that I'm like, I don't know if I agree with that. It's easier for me to have a discussion if I say, you know what, I don't agree with you, and here's the reasons why I don't agree. Now, that person may rebut and go, yo, I hear you. Here's why I believe I'm right. And then we can just in there either agree to disagree, or I can consider what they say more. They can consider what I say more. But that's how you get to an actual conclusion. And sometimes the conclusion is, yo, we'll just have to agree to disagree. But there's no need to attack this person in order to disagree. And I noticed that. I noticed that there's a growing number of people. I think the statement people use or say is people who are serially online. There's a lot of things I do online as far as consumption, right? Like I listen to a lot of podcasts, but I don't let these podcasts upset me when something is said that I disagree with. Even when I disagree vehemently, I'm like, I see their point, but I don't agree with that. And it helps me to formulate my ideas a little more, but it doesn't generate this visceral response, especially on topics that, like, this is comic books. This is entertainment. This is TV shows, movies. Like, this is really not so important that I have to really go crazy back and forth. This is why once I noticed, like, I don't mind talking to you guys in the comments. I love the comment section. It's great. I love some of the discussions. But once I realized that a person doesn't actually want to have a discussion, they just want to beat up on the other side, blast the other side. I'm like, oh yeah, you can't do this online. Like, this goes nowhere. It's discussions online are not a waste of time, but I think arguments online are, because there's only so much you can say via text, right? There's a lot of things that get lost. This is why, look, if you've ever put a comment on one of my videos and I said elaborate, here's the reason I say elaborate. Because I perceive your comment a certain way, and I think maybe I'm understanding this wrong, because I think this is this way, but I believe it would be easy for me to misunderstand this. So let me ask this person to elaborate. And there's times where I'm like, oh, okay, now I see what you're saying. I perceived and understood what you said completely different from that explanation. It's hard to get to that sometime. And I think when you muddy that water with the visceral responses, man, my channel's a different channel. I hope you guys understand. I'm just talking about stuff I enjoy. I really enjoy comic books. I don't want to argue, but I don't mind a discussion. I don't want my channel to turn into, and this is the reason I took the stance that I've taken. I don't want my channel to turn into the rage content that you see on some channels. And I understand, like, I really and truly understand how people get there. So this is more of a public service announcement, I guess, for a bunch of the new subscribers that I have. I am nobody special. I am not an expert. I know there are those who believe if you're not an expert, you shouldn't talk. But in the geek space, it was always conversations from people who just loved whatever it was, whether it's video games, TV shows, comic books. What quantifies anybody as an expert? I mean, I've heard commentary from people who I believe really know what they're talking about in comic books, and they have definitely been dead wrong on a myriad of issues. Anybody can be wrong, and anybody can be right. The comic book space, I don't think should ever, and this is just my humble opinion, you can believe what you want about it, I don't think it should ever be about some kind of elite tier or elitism, if you want to use that word. Yo, people talk. There's comic book channels that I follow that are small channels that I think have great commentary, better than some big channels. And there are big channels I follow that I'm like, yo, this is the real deal right here. I love comic books. What I wanted to do with my channel is, where are the channels for people who just love comic books? And there are some out there, and there's some of the biggest ones out there. And I love those channels. I ask myself, why do these channels survive and thrive? Because they just talk about stuff they love. That's what I endeavor to do. Took me, like I said, took me a little break. I'm not going to do the announcement thing like I said earlier. But if just to know, if randomly you see me not post a video and nothing goes up, or like today this video is going to be posted outside of my normal time. I normally post a video 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for those who are new to the channel. Typically Monday through Friday, you can find a video on my channel at that time. Sometime on Fridays, I drop off and don't record a video. Or like I said, I just, won't record a video. And for no reason, just to not record one. I don't want to get caught in the algorithm trap. So for this reason, one, I'm just going to randomly not post videos sometime. And I know it may hurt the channel. I get it. The algorithm, I get it. I understand. I don't want to feel obligated that I have to discuss this thing that everybody's discussing, or I have to put a video out about this thing that everybody likes. I just want to talk about the stuff I enjoy. When I was growing up and we talked about comic books, it wasn't necessarily about what was most popular. I remember, I'll give you an example. I remember when this was when DC put out all their Milestone comics and Hardware came out. Now, Hardware was big. Don't get me wrong. Hardware was big. I'm going to make a statement, and inevitably there'll be somebody in the comments, what are you talking about? Amongst my friend group, they weren't really paying attention to Hardware. Didn't matter. I loved it. I bought the books. I talked about them. I like the things I like. And I realized, especially, I think YouTube is probably the worst place for this. One, people feel the necessity to talk about certain things because, well, this is going to grab me audience. If you notice, my Rippaverse videos are my highest performing videos, like highest performing. Like if I just wanted to run the numbers up on my channel, I would just talk about that all day long. But that's not all I enjoy. I enjoy other books. So yes, I will talk about the Rippaverse, but I will also talk about other stuff I enjoy. And people need to lighten up. I'm going to discuss something that you don't like. Lighten up. Feel free to go in the comments and disagree, but here's what I would tell you. If you find yourself listening to my videos and you're angry at my opinion, maybe you take this a little too serious. Now, don't get me wrong. I take my comic books serious, but I'm not so serious to the point that if somebody says something I don't like or I disagree with, I'm ready to go to war. I might just say, I think that's a bad take. Here's what I think about that. Lighten up, enjoy the geek space.